Thursday night, Tennessee and Ball State, and plus kind of preview today's action. Like I said, a little brunch with the Big Orange fans, if you will. Uh, you know, I guess my overall thoughts on the game is just went out there and just took care of business and picked up a win. I thought it went very well for the most part. We didn't really open up the playbook a whole lot, uh, and that's okay. Like I said, you're taking on a inferior opponent in Ball State, but you still put up a lot of points. In the meantime, uh, like I said, I was happy for the yeah, and our founder Brad's in the chatter. He says didn't show anything special. Yeah, absolutely. Um, Really cool. The first play of the game, like I said, Ball State tried to go trick play on us, and did through handed over to Carson Steele over to the wide receiver, and then flipped back to John Paddock, the quarterback, and then Tamarian McDonald, who was David D's breakout player of the year, living up to the expectations, end up getting a pick. And then the first offensive play of the game for Tennessee, as Hendon Hooker found Jalen Hyatt for the touchdown. So, like I said, Tennessee already up 7-0 early on. Uh, really cool start to the season. Got Neyland Stadium fired up, and like I said, I think it really carried that momentum throughout the rest of the game. Brad says next week, huge game. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll talk about them in a moment. Pitt Panthers. Trying to think of some other stuff. Like I said, just nothing really necessarily stood out. I mean, I thought Hendon Hooker looked good. I thought, uh, a couple running touchdowns, couple passing touchdowns. Just kind of got his feet. I mean, he didn't really need his feet wet. He just kind of got back into football action. Did really good. Like I said, big game next for him next week. The running backs, yeah, Brad said Hooker seemed a little jittery, but hopefully fixed next week. Yeah, I did notice that there was a couple of overthrown passes, especially when he was trying to throw to the sideline or out to the flat. Excuse me, probably a little, maybe too amped up at the beginning, but he took care of what he needed to get taken care of. Like I said, big game for him next week against a team that he's played many a times for. Like I said, he played against them last year, filling in for Joe Milton last year in Knoxville, and then when he was at Virginia Tech, obviously the Hokies and Pitt Panthers are big division foes, so he has some experience against them. I thought the running backs, Jabari Small looked good. Jalen Wright looked really good compared from year one to year two. Dylan Sampson looked very good as far as the backups go. Justin Williams Thomas had that fumble. So I mean they're freshmen. So like I said, I'm not going to put a lot of stock, but I thought the running backs looked good for the most part. Offensive line, I thought Darnell Wright looked really good, and I know he had that big flop on the penalty. Uh, but it is what it is. Still a little concerned about the left side. Even at the left guard position where Spraggins is, they didn't really open a lot of holes up to me. So we'll see. Brad says I actually thought Milton looked better. Had a few fastballs, so still was impressive overall for him. Yeah, Milton looked a lot better this time around compared to the Bowling Green game last year. Um, he overthrew that one pass in the end zone to the tight end. But I think that was a backup tight end that was in there at that time. Uh, but he had that nice connection to Jimmy Holiday that went for like a 55-yard touchdown pass. So yeah, he did very well for the most part. Like I said, just coming in there and taking care of business. Wide receivers, I think Tillman only had like one catch that I can think of, maybe two. Um, Seem like they're kind of really holding him for next week. Jalen Hyatt looked really good. I was happy to see not only he got the touchdown, but he made some great catches. And then the newcomer, Brew McCoy, very impressed with him. Made a couple of spectacular catches in the game. Uh, Looks like it's going to probably come down to Tillman and Brew McCoy and Jalen Hyde. Best games to watch today from Brad. All right, so we'll switch over to there. I'm excited about the 3:30 game on ESPN, and that's Cincinnati at Arkansas. If I go ahead and see if I can pull up the what the point spread is, right? Okay, Arkansas is now a 6.5 point favorite. It was down like a 3 point favorite to them, so it seems like it's trending up towards them. I think that's going to be a very interesting matchup. Cincinnati, like I said, you know, ended up getting into the college football playoff last year. Uh, have a lot of talent returning back. I know they lost some in Sauce Gardner, their uh, cornerback from last year. Desmond Ritter, the quarterback, also gone, but they're still pretty talented. Uh, it's gonna be an interesting battle. But I like Arkansas. Sam Pittman has proved he can win. In Fayetteville, KJ Jefferson, the quarterback, is back, second year under the Kendall Briles system. Uh, I was reading Brad's comment. Did you see we are a 4.5 point favor over Pitt? I have not yet. I hadn't checked the lines for week 2. But yeah, I think that's gonna. I think Cincinnati, Arkansas is gonna be a lot of fun to watch. I don't expect much from Georgia and Oregon. I think Georgia probably may blow them out. It might be interesting in the first half, but I think Georgia's probably more talented than the Ducks. Utah, Florida, I think can be a very interesting matchup too. I'm intrigued to see, excuse me, Florida. Uh, how they're going to do in the first game with Billy Napier. I know there's a lot of newness, first year head coach. Uh, and you're taking on an superior opponent in Utah. Like I said, Utah is a Pac-12 favorite. They won it last year, but they're making that long journey to the Swamp Up Stadium. That's very tough to pick up a win. Especially in the SEC where I don't even know if they played an SEC road game or it's been a long time since they played one. It's gonna be very interesting to see. Trying to think of some others. I mean, Notre Dame, Ohio State. I think Ohio State's going to win big tonight. And then, like as far as SEC games go, pulling up here. Vanderbilt could go 2-0 today as they take on Elon. I just noticed that. Alabama plays Utah State tonight. I expect Alabama to win pretty big. Texas A&M plays Sam Houston. So SEC schedule is just kind of a lot of cupcake games, except for Oregon, Georgia, Cincinnati, Arkansas, and Utah and Florida. Like I said, Tennessee got their game out of the way Thursday. And Brad's, like I said, I'm going to look at the week 2 here. All right, ESPN doesn't have the lines out yet just for next week, but 4.5 point favorite against Pitt. Pitt had a very interesting game Thursday night. Florida game time, 7 o'clock tonight on ESPN as they take on Utah. There. Let's see. Pitt, had a very interesting game with West Virginia Thursday night in the backyard brawl. Great game. I wish these teams still play every year. I personally, I think West Virginia, I would love to see them in the ACC, not the Big 12, but they didn't ask me that. It was, Brad says unreal game. West Virginia had the lead, and then they punted on like 4th and 1, send it back to Pitt. They drove down, got a touchdown, and then JT Daniels ended up throwing the pick 6 that gave Pitt the lead and ended up getting the win. Just an unreal game for the most part between Pitt and West Virginia. So what are some of your games you're looking forward to today? I got game day on the other screen here. They're showing live looking at NC State and East Carolina. That's coming up at the top of the hour on ESPN. Not like a lot of big 12 o'clock games to really watch out for. I mean, I guess NC State, East Carolina might be somewhat interesting, but nothing. I mean, Fox doesn't have a big noon game today, so not a whole lot in the early hours. But like I said, around 3:30, you start getting some juicier games throughout the day. Week 1, Kirk, actually already with a cuss word slipping. Yeah, I didn't even know. I turned it on. around like 10:30, and it looked like they were in a lightning delay, so they were inside, but now they had the crowd back for game day. Uh, so I'm not sure exactly all what happened. I guess there was a lightning delay, and then they had some singer just got done singing. So normally Corso's the one that usually has the cuss words slipping. uh, Try to think of anything else. That's really kind of what's going on. Like I said, I'm excited to see what happens next week with Tennessee. Like I said, took care of business against Ball State. There are some improvements there, and I know that Josh Heupel and company is going to take care of them. Uh, like I said, I really want to see how Tennessee's pass rush does. It seemed like watching the Pitt game, Keaton Slovis really held on to the ball way too long at times. So can Tennessee's pass rush, especially Byron Young or Tyler Barron or maybe a Jeremy Bates, can go up there and get him really quick? Ronnie Anderson, their running back at Pitt, it looks like it's going to be a load to take down. So we're going to have to find a way to stop that running game. It seems like that's what they're going to be really relying on more than Keenan Slovis. But like I said, it's going to be a tough game next week going up there. Did you see Virginia Tech had a delay? All the coaches at halftime got stuck in an elevator. I didn't know about that. I watched the end of Virginia Tech Old Dominion, and Old Dominion won. Man, Virginia Tech looks really, really bad. Their quarterback threw 4 picks against Old Dominion. I mean, good for Old Dominion getting a win. The first field storming of 2022. Brad says it was hilarious. Yeah, I didn't know they got stuck in an elevator. And that's just a bad night all the way. Press box was empty. That's unreal. Excuse me. Get a little OJ in here. But yeah, I didn't really see that. I caught the end of it. Um, but yeah, like I said, next week should be a lot of fun. Can't wait for it. I'm excited about some of these games today. Uh, like I said, I mentioned Cincinnati, Arkansas. That's one I'm really kind of looking forward to. I think Utah, Florida tonight's going to be a lot of fun. Um, our buddies Georgia State taking on South Carolina, so hopefully Georgia State can upset South Carolina tonight. That's on the ESPN Plus app. Memphis, Mississippi State's an interesting game tonight on ESPNU down in Stark Vegas. Uh, Mississippi State's actually a 17-point favorite in that one. Other top 25 games. Ole Miss is playing Troy. Nothing really to brag about there. Um, yeah, that's really about it as far as that. Any questions or comments? Uh, like I said, we should be recording a podcast coming up this weekend, or probably Monday, I believe, and it'll be released on Tuesday. Like I said, we got another busy week here on Vol Society. We got the Josh Heupel press conference coming up on Monday, previewing Pitt. That should be released around like 12:15, I believe. I thought it was usually it's around noon, but they usually it's around like 12:15 now. And then Tuesday we will launch the podcast. I'll be back on the podcast. And then Wednesday we will have Ball Society live preview in Pitt. Please go check out Ball Society live last week with our founder Brad was on. We went over an hour. It was a fantastic show. Had a lot of fun with that. And then next Thursday we will do our tailgate Thursday little 5-minute preview of the college football games for next week. Looking for a game for our high school spotlight game of the week. We started that yesterday. Our spotlight game was Baylor taking on Knox Catholic. Baylor blew out Knox Catholic like 48-9, the final score. So we got some considerations for game of the week, but where I'm at, I'm in the Knoxville area, Chattanooga area a little bit. So I know more the East Tennessee schools and some Middle Tennessee. Memphis schools, if you live in the Memphis area, if you would love to just help us out, kind of tell us some teams to kind of watch out for, because we don't really know much about that area, or at least where I'm at. I don't know much about the Memphis schools. I know a couple, but at least I want to spotlight some of those games out in West Tennessee. Don't want to just necessarily focus on East Tennessee necessarily. But we have I know a couple of games that we are looking at for our spotlight game of the week. Hopefully, y'all enjoy that. Just try and bring more content to Vol Society. Um, it's really about That's really about all kind of going on. So I don't have a lot to talk about today. I thought I would. Like I said, hope everybody enjoys this Saturday. Like I said, it's the first college football Saturday of the season, the first full Saturday. Uh, some interesting games, so hopefully y'all can enjoy it. Um, it rained this morning here where I'm at, but now the sun's back out, so hopefully it could stay that way, but we shall see. And if you're going to a college football game today, tell us on our Vol Society comments, whether it's on this video or you can message us. Like I said, I know in the state of Tennessee, I know UTC's playing a game today. Um, so so just tell us where you may be doing this weekend. Big game next week for Brad. What Brad said, yeah, absolutely. Uh, Tennessee Pitt next Saturday, 3:30 on ABC. Um, like I said, one of the bigger games next week. Like I said, obviously the big one is Alabama, Texas. Everybody's gonna be focused on that, and rightfully should. But I think this is a sneaky game next week. Both teams got a lot to prove to the national stage. Obviously, Pitt, defending ACC champions, want to prove that they're still a legit program in the ACC. Taking on us, and then for Tennessee, this is a momentum game for Josh Heupel. Uh, we've been talking about Josh Heupel needs that big win. Here's the opportunity right here. Like I said, he's defeated the Missouris, the South Carolinas, the Kentuckys, the Vanderbilts, the teams that he needs to beat, and dominated the teams he needs to beat for the most part. But here's a big opportunity to go on a road, take on a top 25 team. And Tennessee, I could tell you the last time we've won a road game against a Power 5 non conference team in a long time. Maybe, unless you want to count like a Notre Dame as one, but maybe even Miami, and that's been 20 years ago. So I'm probably drawing a blank somewhere, but like I said, we played a lot of neutral site games. But like I said, this is a big game next week. You go on the road, taking on a Power 5 team in Pitt. You lost to them last year. You're home, on your home field. You have a chance to go up there and to get a win there. I want to see just Hendon Hooker really ball out. Excuse me. Uh, Next week, I want to see Cedric Tillman really have a big game, and even Brew McCoy really establishing as a top wide receiver. I want to see the pass rush really get to Keenan Slovis. Uh, didn't really see a lot of pass rush last week or Thursday night. It was just only 2 days ago. I didn't see a lot of that. Uh, and it just seems like Keenan Slovis really holds on the ball too long, especially against West Virginia. And I know we've got better talent than West Virginia. But like I said, you know, flip the coin around. It's this team we're taking on Pitt. This is not a Ball State team. This is going to be a tougher team. So, uh, you know, there were some concerns a little bit, nothing too major with Ball State, but you know, anything can happen, and I know Pitt's going to try to force a lot of turnovers on us. So, Brad said didn't like didn't like not didn't like not seeing that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. About the pass rush. Yeah. I would have figured we would have went after John Paddock. Just didn't. It's a little concerning to me just not having a established pass rush. So hopefully we can fix that next week. Yeah. Okay. The rush. Yeah. Hopefully we can get that fixed next week. We really got to get a good pass rush on him and really make him feel uncomfortable out there. Like I said, West Virginia did a good job getting to him, but like I said, we didn't even get to John Paddock at Ball State. So uh, that's going to be my big concern. Yeah, and like Brad says, we have to fix it. Absolutely. Uh, As far as defensive goes, I thought well, Warren Burrell is still struggling on the corners. Uh, Kamal Haddon had a pick in the game, so happy to see Kamal Haddon. It seems like he's doing better. Uh, you know, I don't know. Somebody's, I guess, just because he's a veteran player that he can. Just got a text about the Kirk Herbstreit, what he said on on game day. I wish I didn't get to see that part. Anyways, getting back to the defense here. Like I said, the secondary, I thought, didn't see a whole lot, but I'm happy to see Kamal Haddon uh, getting a pick. I was happy to see Tamari McDonald got the first pick of the game. Uh, I thought McCullough and Flowers did a fine job for the most part. Um, but like I said, the not having that pass rush, like Brad said and I said, was a little concerning. But we shall see what happens. So, but any others? Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and kind of wind it down. I just wanted to jump on here for about 25, 30 minutes here just to just say good morning to our Vol fans. Thank you for your support. Kind of a little brunch or breakfast wherever you're at. Getting ready for the first Saturday of the season. Like I said, game day's on right now. Got a menu of games throughout the day. Like I said, we got a big game next week with Pitt. Uh, like I said, this is really what's going to set the stone or set the tone for our season. Uh, and like I said, Bryce says, thanks, David. Everyone's out getting ready for games. Yeah, absolutely. Uh, Big day today. Like I said, I'm excited about it. I'm going to go uh, probably go somewhere and watch some of these games at a local establishment. So should be a lot of fun. Just want to say thank you everybody for tuning in. We will see. We'll talk to y'all on the podcast coming up on Tuesday. All three of us will be back, and then Ball Society Live next Wednesday night. We'll preview the Pitt Panthers. Hopefully a great show there. Enjoy the Saturday. I just wanted to say, good morning to our Vol fans. Do a quick little brunch with the Big Orange. Enjoy the games, everybody, and we'll talk to y'all next week. So this has been David Morrison for Vol Society. Have a great day and go Vols.